The production of salmon can be divided into four main areas: broodstock and roe production, hatchery production, grow-out production, and processing. It starts in land-based facilities where fresh water is used and continues in cage facilities in the sea until the fish are slaughtered. First, roe from specially selected female salmon are fertilized with milt from specially selected male salmon. This happens at a broodstock station. The fertilized roe are then incubated for a month and a half before being sent on to a hatchery. In the hatcheries, the roe are hatched and the salmon juveniles are fed until they are large enough to be transferred to grow-out production in the sea. In the grow-out farms, the salmon are fed until they have reached the desired slaughter size, which is usually 4 to 6 kilograms. The production time in the sea varies, and it is dependent on many different factors, including sea temperature and smolt size. As a rule, this is about 14 to 22 months. Broodfish are most often produced in the same way as in grow-out production, but are kept in their own sea locations until they are sexually mature and can be taken to the broodstock station to spawn. However, in recent years, it has become more and more common to keep the broodstock on land throughout the entire production cycle, which provides increased biosecurity. There are many steps in salmon production, and to be able to operate profitably and sustainably while at the same time safeguarding animal welfare and meeting the requirements of the authorities and customers, a lot of specialist expertise, knowledge, and equipment is needed. The land-based facilities must ensure that the fish receive sufficient water of good quality at all times. This means that the water must have enough oxygen, the right temperature, and low levels of CO2 and other harmful substances, such as ammonia and H2S. All water taken into the facilities must also be filtered and often disinfected with UV rays or the like before it enters the fish tanks, so that disease-causing microorganisms are kept out. It is also important to make sure that you do not keep more fish in the tanks than what is set as the maximum density. To be able to do this, you depend on good planning and monitoring of production. One must, among other things, control the growth of the fish and avoid delays that lead to the fish staying in the tanks longer than they should. In marine facilities, it is particularly important to prevent the fish from escaping, and there are strict requirements to safeguard against this. Here, you are also more at the mercy of nature and must be able to handle situations such as storms, treatment against salmon lice, disease, predator attacks, and toxic algae or jellyfish. Furthermore, biofouling must also be removed from the nets so that the water flow inside them remains good. Good husbandry of the fish must be ensured and biosecurity must be safeguarded. When the salmon is ready for slaughter, it is either sent alive to the processing plant on a well boat or it is killed on a stun and bleed boat before being transported chilled to the processing plant. In some cases, processing vessels are used which take care of the entire slaughter process. Before and during slaughter, there are also many factors that are important to focus on for reasons of product quality and fish welfare. The fish must be stressed as little as possible during pumping and transport, be correctly anesthetized and euthanized in as gentle and humane a manner as possible.